She's sleeping too long. She didn't even hug me today, the boy noticed. The spoon hit the plate and made a sound like something cracking deep in the walls. Not loud, not sharp, just wrong. Levi froze where he stood by the fridge, one hand still inside it, fingers numb on a carton of milk. His mother didn't move. She sat at the table, her head tilted slightly toward the window, eyes open but not seeing anything. The spoon had rolled off the edge and landed near her bare foot. She didn't look at it. She didn't look at him. "Ma?" He said no answer. He pushed the fridge shut hard and walked over. "You forgot to pour it," he added, glancing at the bowl of oatmeal. Still dry, still steaming from the kettle's ghost. He reached for the spoon, picked it up, held it out to her. She blinked, once, twice. "Ma?" Nothing. He set the spoon down on the table, tapped it once. It clinked and she blinked again, but didn't turn her head. Just that slow blink, like someone waking up into something worse. "You okay?" he asked. "You sick?" Still nothing. Her breathing was shallow, lips pale. The blue dress she wore yesterday was wrinkled, unbuttoned at the collar. One sleeve hung low off the shoulder, like she got halfway dressed and forgot the rest. "I'll tell Nana," he mumbled, backing away. Her lips moved. "Just barely." He leaned in. "What?" "I'm here," she said, barely more than a breath. "You scared me," he whispered. She didn't respond. Her eyes followed him now, slow, heavy, like lifting bricks. "You didn't hug me," he said. "You always hug me." Her mouth twitched, not quite a smile. "Just something broken trying to surface. I'll get Nana." "No," he stopped. "She's fine. Just tired." Levi turned to see his grandfather standing in the doorway. Dirty boots. Hat still on. Face unreadable. "She's not fine. She's just tired." "Go outside. Feed the hens." She dropped the spoon. "I said go." Levi looked back at his mother. Her hand hovered near the spoon now, shaking. He went out the back door without saying another word. Behind him, the silence closed up like a trap, like nothing had ever happened at all. Levi sat on the porch steps, arms around his knees. Chickens scratched dirt across the yard. The morning air felt warm but wrong. He didn't feed them, just sat. He heard the screen door creak open behind him. "You just gonna mope out here, or feed what feeds you?" Nana's voice snapped sharp. "She didn't hug me." The door groaned again. Then silence. "She always hugs me," he said. He turned. Nana stood still behind the screen, apron tied tight, hair pinned flat, a spoon in one hand, rag in the other. Her eyes weren't on him. They were stuck on something further back. "She dropped her spoon, too," he added. "That got her." She stepped out slow, like the boards might give under her weight. Sat beside him, not touching. "Just close enough." "What color was her dress?" she asked. "Blue." Nana nodded. "Sleeve off?" "Yeah," she sighed. She go quiet. Real quiet. They both stared across the field, where the trees met the sky in a crooked line. "She didn't eat," Levi said. "Did you?" "No." "You hungry?" "Kinda." She stood. Walked back inside without another word. Levi followed. Inside, the air smelled like dust and coffee. He sat at the table. She poured grits. "Set the bowl down." Didn't look at him. "You know where your mama went last night?" He shook his head. "Did she leave the door open?" "Think so." "Did she say anything at all?" He shook his head again. Nana moved to the window, pulled the curtain halfway, paused. Her hand shook. Then she yanked it closed. "What's out there?" he asked. "Nothing you need to see. I saw red dirt on her." "Boots." She looked at him, long, hard. "You didn't," she said. "I did." "You didn't." "Okay." She wiped her hands on her apron, pulled the curtain tighter. Her breath caught just once, barely enough to hear. "Nana!" She didn't turn. "Eat your grits." "Is she sick?" "She's tired." "Why won't she talk?" "Because some things don't want to be woken up." Levi didn't ask what she meant. He just stared at the curtain, waiting. The back door creaked like it always did, but nobody stirred. Levi stepped out barefoot, holding his sneakers by the laces. The morning fog hugged the ground like it didn't want to leave. Chickens had gone quiet. Even the rooster kept its beak shut. He crossed the yard slow, past the rusted water pump, toward the shed no one used anymore. The door was cracked open. Light flickered inside. Not firelight, not electric, just flicker. He stepped closer. Wood creaked under his feet. "Mama!" He whispered nothing. He pushed the door wider. The air inside smelled sharp. Wet iron, old soil. He saw her hunched over something on the ground. Her hair hung loose. Her coat was buttoned all wrong. "Mama?" She turned her head slow, eyes red, face blank. "What are you doing?" he asked. She looked down. Her boots were caked with red dirt, thick, fresh. "You go up near the ridge?" She didn't answer. "That dirt's not from here." Her mouth opened, closed. "You said not to go past the fence line." She stood, slow, one hand on the wall. Her knees shook. "You okay?" "Go home, Levi." "You're bleeding." She looked down. Her hands were scraped, fingernails rimmed with mud. "I dug," she said. "What for?" "I thought it was gone." "What was?" She stepped toward him. He backed up. "Don't tell your grandpa." "I won't." She grabbed his arm. "Tight." "Too tight. You didn't see this." "I didn't." "You swear." "I swear." She let go. Turned back, bent down again. Started scraping dirt into a bucket with both hands. "You want help?" "No." He stared at the boots. Red clay clumped thick around the soles, up the sides. Dirt from the ridge. Dirt from the place no one talked about. She whispered something. He leaned in. "What?" "Should have stayed buried." "What should have?" She didn't answer. He stepped back out the door, pulled it mostly shut, then ran barefoot across the yard. Behind him the scraping continued, slow and steady. No chickens called. No wind blew. Just her fingers in the dirt, and the sound of something being uncovered that should have stayed where it was. The general store smelled like dust and pickles. Levi stood near the icebox, holding a glass bottle of cola against his chest. The clerk nodded at him, then glanced toward the door as it opened. Boots hit the floor heavily. Spurs didn't jingle. They scraped. Sheriff Crowley stepped inside. Uniform clean. Badge dull. Eyes are mean but slow-moving. He didn't go to the counter. Walked straight toward Levi. "Boy." Levi stiffened. "You alone?" Levi nodded. "Mama sent me for cornmeal." Crowley crouched, knees cracking. He'd looked Levi dead in the eye. "You seen your mama out past the ridge?" "No, sir." "Think real hard." Levi swallowed. "Just around the shed. She got dirt on her boots." "Red dirt?" "Maybe." "That dirt don't belong on your land." "I didn't go." "I know." "Then why?" "Because it calls the boy, not the man." Levi looked down. Crowley's badge had a nick in it, like someone had tried to scratch it off once. "You ever see anything strange out there?" "No." "You hear anything?" "No." "You lie good." "I'm not lying. Don't ever go near that land." "Not ever again." Levi blinked. "Why?" Crowley stood. "Because what's buried out there don't like to be seen. My mama ain't your job to question your mama. Ain't mine either." He turned to leave, paused. "Tell your granddaddy he still owes me a phone call." "I will." Crowley opened the door. "You tell her I asked?" "No." "Good boy." The bell rang above the door. Levi stared at the dust where the sheriff had stood. The clerk didn't say a word, just rang him up slowly and quietly. Gave him the cornmeal for free. Levi waited till the house fell quiet, past supper, past the radio, past the porch swing creaking empty. He slipped his boots on without socks, careful not to breathe too loud. The moon was high, but the clouds made it feel lower, closer, meaner. The shed sat crooked in the dark, door half shut. No light this time, just shapes. He stepped inside. The air was thick, wet. "Something sour in it, Mama?" No answer. He crept in further, past the shelves of rusted tools, past the nail pail, to the middle of the floor where dirt stained the boards darker than the rest. He crouched, listened. Knock. Then again. "Knock! Mama?" The sound stopped. He waited. Knock, knock, rhythmic, too even. Not footsteps, not shoveling. He pressed his palm to the floorboard. Cold. "Who's down there?" "Nothing." "Is that you?" The air shifted. Something beneath the boards moved, or settled. He couldn't tell. He stood backed up. His foot caught a shovel. It clanged. Wood on metal. The knocking stopped, then a whisper, low, rasped. She looked past him. Her eyes went wide. "Don't turn around." He did. Nothing there. He turned back. She was gone. The floor creaked. He dropped the shovel and ran. Inside the shed, the knocking returned, steady as a heartbeat. Levi found the Bible under her pillow. The thin leather cover cracked down the middle. He opened it slowly. Pages fluttered. Something slid out, folded paper. 5, maybe 6, old, yellowed, torn at the edges. He unfolded the top one. The writing was his mother's, but not like he'd seen before. The loops were neat at first, careful, loving. Dear Ruth, I don't know where you are now. I think of you every time the wind shifts. He blinked. Mama told me not to say your name. Said it cursed the soil. I say it anyway. The second page came quicker. The lines crooked now. Words scratched through. Ink smudged. They told me you drowned. I never believed them. I saw the bruise on your neck. The third one made his stomach hurt. He comes around still. Pretends like he don't remember. Says he was young. Says we asked for it. He flipped to the fourth. The writing changed. Big, fast. Angry? I dig, I dig, I dig, I dig. The next one had no greeting. Just a circle of words. She's under the red. She's under the red. She's under the red. His fingers shook. The last page was blank, but for a single sentence in the corner. Sheriff Crowley knows. Footsteps creaked outside the room. Levy shoved the letters back in the Bible, closed it, slid it under the bed. The door opened. Nana stood there. You in her things? No, she stared at him, long. You see anything? No. You'd better pray you didn't. He nodded. Nana stepped back. Close the door. Levi stared at the wall, heart hammering. He wouldn't sleep that night. Not after what he'd read. Not after the word dig started echoing, like it belonged to him now. Whispers started before sunup. Levi heard them at the feed store, in the parking lot outside the church. Women with arms crossed tightly. Men who wouldn't meet his eyes. That the boy. Spit-in image. He doesn't even know, does he? Inside the diner, the cook muttered to the waitress, she never should have come back. She never left. She stayed quiet. There's a difference. Levi sat at the counter, feet swinging, stirring sugar into a cup he wasn't allowed to drink. The door chimed. Sheriff Crowley stepped in, paused, looked straight at him. Levi looked down. Crowley walked past slowly. Folks turned away. Nobody greeted him. At the back booth, a man in a pressed suit folded a newspaper. His boots were too clean. His hands are too smooth. Crowley sat across from him. He knows. The man asked, He's a kid. He's Ruth's. Crowley nodded once. Then he's mine. You paid to forget that. Don't mean he ain't. Levi slipped off the stool. Where you going? Sugar. The waitress asked. Home. He passed the booth. Heard the man's voice low. Get her quiet again. She won't stay quiet. Make her. Levi walked faster. Outside, the wind pushed dust down the road. The sign over the diner flickered. He turned the corner and ran. At home, he climbed into the attic, dug through boxes till he found the old photo frame. Glass was cracked. Inside, two girls in dresses, one holding a baby, one not smiling. In the corner, almost hidden, a third figure. Man in uniform. Had pulled low. Levy looked at the baby. At the man, his fingers traced the chin. His own chin. He didn't cry. He didn't blink. He just stared like the picture might blink first. Nana sat on the back porch, shelling peas into a tin bowl. Her hands shook more than usual. Levy stepped out quietly. I saw the photo, he said. She didn't look up. You knew. Still nothing. She said Ruth drowned. She did. No, she didn't. She drowned. That's what I told folks. You lied. She wasn't supposed to come back. Levi sat across from her. The wind stirred the trees, soft like breath. Where'd she go? The well? What well? You know the one? I thought it was dried. Still takes what's given. He swallowed. You threw her in. I didn't throw her. She went. Why? She was carrying him. Your uncle, Levi blinked. She had a baby? Nana nodded. He didn't cry. She held him under too long. She did it on purpose. She thought it'd fix things. Did it? No. She shelled faster. Her thumb bled. She didn't notice. Why'd she come back? She was called. By what? Nana looked at him then, eyes clear, voice flat. It doesn't have a name. It just waits. What did she bring? Hunger. For what? Whatever it remembers. He stood. That's why Mama's digging. She hears it too. She said she was trying to bury it. She can't. It's tied to her now. Levi's voice dropped. Is it tied to me? Nana stopped. Not yet. He backed away. You're scared. I'm tired. You let her drown. She let herself. You watched. She wasn't supposed to crawl out. He turned. Walked off the porch. Levi. He paused. She came back wet, dripping, mud to her knees. Eyes all wrong. He didn't turn. I thought she was dead. He kept walking. The well sat beyond the fence. Waiting, they came at dusk. 3 trucks, no plates. Engines are loud and angry. Levy watched from the barn rafters, heart in his throat. She stood in the yard, arms by her sides, coat half-buttoned. One man stepped forward. Black hat, heavy boots, face shadowed. You got something don't belong to. You, he said. I got nothing, she replied. Sheriff says different. You were told to stay quiet. I've been quiet too long. Another man cocked his rifle. You dig again? She nodded. Found her. Put her back. She won't go. You sure about that? I am now. A third man stepped closer. We ain't asking. You never do. You remember what happened last time. I was 16. You were warned. I bled for it. You'll bleed again. No, she said. Not this time. Behind her, the tree line shimmered. What's that? One man muttered. Smoke lifted, fast, low to the ground. Red flickers under it like embers crawling sideways. Back in the trucks, Black Hat snapped. The ground cracked. Fire leapt in a straight line from the trees to the shed, wrapping around it like a belt. Hell! The rifleman started. Flames roared, but there was no heat, just sound. Screaming wood, splitting earth. She didn't flinch. They turned to run. The trucks wouldn't start. Engines sputtered like dying breath. Levi climbed down, ran to her side. What is it? He shouted, Justice, you called it? I didn't have to. The fire closed in behind the men. Smoke swallowed them. Then silence, just crackling. Levi stared at the tree line. It had gone still, too still. You standing now? He asked her. She nodded. I'm done digging. From the ashes, something moved. Something small, wet, breathing. She stepped forward. Levi followed. The sun barely rose. Smoke hung low across the yard, like fog that forgot how to lift. The shed was gone. The trucks, too. Nothing left but scorched lines across the soil, black and perfect. Levi stood barefoot in the ash, his toes pressed into the warm earth. He didn't speak. She stepped toward him, face soft. Eyes clearer than they'd been in years. You all right? She asked. He nodded. You sleep? No, me neither. She touched his shoulder. He flinched, then leaned into it. I was scared, he said. I was too. They screamed. I know. They burned. They chose that. He looked up at her. What now? She opened her arms. Come here. He stepped into her. She wrapped him tight, held him like she used to. Maybe tighter. You smell like smoke, he whispered. So do you. They stayed like that. Silent, listening to the wind try to erase what happened. She pulled back. You understand now? Some of it. You don't need to understand all of it. I want to. You will. She knelt in front of him, brushed dirt off his legs, touched his cheek. You know who you are? He hesitated. Yeah. She leaned in, whispered something in his ear. Just a few words. His eyes didn't change. He just nodded. You sure? She asked. I'm sure. Then go. He stepped back. Barefoot still. She didn't offer shoes. He walked down the path, past the old coop, past the rusted gate, toward town, toward Crowley's house. He didn't run, didn't pause, didn't blink. Behind him she stood in the same spot watching. The wind picked up. The earth pulsed once beneath her feet, but Levi didn't turn around.